why are they missing so much? Like, I was so excited for Kenobi. I was so excited for Boba. Like, do you think it's just oversight or the fact that they don't know these characters or are they hiring the wrong people? Like, what's the problem?
Commoditization. It's a factory. They like from the Marvel perspective, I think part of it's like, how do you create streaming content that's equivalent to the quality of the MCU movies without lessening the value of the MCU movies? And I
Yeah.
don't think you can. So I think that part of it was them literally saying, well, we'll make like a smaller version of the movies. We'll make it like kind of not as badass because we don't want to diminish what we're doing in the movie theater. And it's just a commoditization. It's like, okay, let's talk about Secret Invasion. Just from the strict perspective of storytelling, if you gave me Secret Invasion the show, I would go bananas with it. I would like make
Yeah.
it the biggest show they've ever done with all the Avengers in it. Like just crazy, like super, super dope.
Yeah.
And I think that's the mentality if you're just creating. But if you're like trying to conserve, the mentality is how do I do a version of Secret Invasion with a limited budget, no Avengers, limited connection to the wider MCU, and we want it in 6 episodes. You know what I mean? Like the entire thought process is not creatively driven. Same thing with Star Wars. Like when they approached Kenobi, bro, they literally were like, what's the minimum amount? What's the minimum amount that we have to spend to get this show produced? What's the minimum amount of rewriting that we're gonna do? We'll bring in Joe B. Harold. He's gonna flip this around real quick because he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like literally, the whole process is a commoditization. They're treating it like content rather than art, right? So like the exact opposite happens in a show like House of the Dragon, where they're like, dude, we need to make something that can stand next to one of the most popular, greatest shows of all time, even though it had an absolutely horrible ending in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And we have this massive fan base that will probably only accept this level of quality. And so they go out and get like the most incredible people to spend years on it, like developing, doing all this stuff. It's a totally different process. It would be like if House of the Dragon, if they were like, well, we're going to make a spin-off with half the budget. And but that's a Hollywood tactic, right? That's like the whole idea is like,
Yeah.
how can we make as much money as possible from this IP? And they're always thinking in that. So I think that's part of the problem is like Disney just basically treated it as commoditization. They treated it as content rather than art. And I think that decision making limited the ability for the true creative people to get in there and do their thing.
Yeah. I agree.